Everybody is on. Shots.
Alright class, we are going to make this very quick because I am incredibly hungover and very mad because my friends took embarrassing footage of me last night. The bright side, however, it shows how alcohol impacts the central nervous system, changing our behavior so we do all the stupid crap that we do when we're drunk. And I'm going to showcase it to all of you today. GABA is gamma-aminobutyric acid. We begin with glutamate, which is broken down into GABA by an enzyme called glutamic acid decarboxylase. GABA is then stored in vesicles in the presynaptic neuron. As an action potential moves down a neuron and reaches the terminal boutons, calcium channels open, allowing calcium to move into the presynaptic neuron. The calcium will bind to synaptotagmin, causing the GABA-containing vesicles to migrate to the presynaptic membrane. It forms a snare complex, allowing GABA to move into the synaptic cleft, where it will then bind with GABA receptors. It'll open the GABA receptors, which allows negatively charged particles to move in. Because the new neuron, the postsynaptic neuron, is becoming more negative, the firing of action potentials and signals is inhibited. Are there any questions? Yes, you in the front.
But Dr. DeAndrea, what does this have to do with your alcoholism?
I'm glad you asked! You see, drinking in excess like I did last night causes prolonged and increased GABA receptor activity due to the presence of ethanol, or the substance that makes drinks alcoholic. Because we have more and longer GABA receptor activity, the firing of action potentials is happening more often than it normally would and lasts for longer than it normally would. This happens in areas all over the brain and causes deficits in our thinking, decision-making, speech, movement, and behavior. The first area of interest is the cerebral cortex. This area of the brain is involved in thinking and decision-making. The inhibition of action potential firing here causes issues in our thinking, in our decision-making, and it also causes slurred speech. Exhibit A. Dude, I bet you I can do a backflip onto this bar counter. I'm gonna do it. Here, hold my beer.
Josh, this isn't a beer. How drunk are you?
Hey, shut up. I can do this. Here we go.
Wait, stop!
Alright, the next area of interest in the brain that we're going to talk about is the hippocampus, which is associated with memory formation. Excessive drinking and the inhibition of the firing of action potentials in the hippocampus is associated with periods of blacking out and lapses in memory. I don't really have a story to tell you guys about my own memory loss, but that's kind of the point. Alright, and the final area of the brain that we're going to talk about is the cerebellum, which is responsible for movement and balance. The inhibition of the firing of action potentials here causes uncoordinated movement and trouble maintaining balance. To provide an example,
Oh, I gotta pee. I can't get up though.
oh? Not anymore. And there you have it, class. Through drunken footage of me, you all have learned how alcohol impacts our behavior and thinking by impacting the central nervous system. Class is let out early today because happy hour is in 30 minutes. Stay tipsy, friends.
Give us a drink of whiskey or scotch. We'll drink it up straight and we'll all take a shot. Just give us the bottle, we'll pass it around. We'll drink and we'll sing till we fall on the ground.